Hey guys, welcome to Michelle's Opinions. Today we're going to have an interesting topic. It may sound a little dark, but it actually, should help us out quite a bit with understanding what's going on and how we can protect ourselves and, realize, who and what we are and what we could possibly be doing to each other. Now, I do believe from the article that I pulled that there are people that actually know they're doing these things to people, but I hope not. Okay, let me get to the page where I can see you guys. Hello, Seeker. Hello, Simba. This time I actually printed out the article because I want to be able to read it to you guys. It's a little bit long, and I want to be able to hear the chat, or see the chat at the same time. Hello, Michele. Hello, Leah. Or I'm sorry, Lee. Jane L. How are you guys doing? Okay, this article was written by Peter Michael. And it's how people steal your power, energy, and soul. And it's come up the last few days. I've been telling people, don't let people steal your crown. I've linked the article in the show more notes, so you can go and read it for yourself also. It is rather long, so let's get right to this article. And it does talk about energy vampires. It talks about, how we can protect ourselves, and, just some basic, I kind of breezed through it, and there's some really good information. But as you can see, it's several pages long. So I'll read, as far as I can, if you guys get bored with it, let me know, because you guys can always go back and read it for yourself. Reading things out loud, they get read a little slower than they would if you were to read them, How is everybody today? Hey, Transmissions Forever. By the way, little channel maintenance. Tomorrow, the 11:11 Power Hour is going to have a guest. And it is going to be Transmissions Forever. And we're going to talk about channeling and a bunch of interesting information. A little bit of background about him. And then we're going to get right into the topic. So, yeah. Just wanted to let you guys know that too. So, yes. Yeah. Oh, what time is Shane's show before I start reading this, Michele? He's like an hour behind me, right? Like, after I'm off, there's an hour in between, and then he goes on. Because I know you're on there today. I forgot the delay. 2:30. 2:30 his time, so 12:30 my time. So we're in good shape. Okay, guys. Let's get into this. Wow. At 3 your time? Okay. Then we're in good shape. Okay. One of the most untalked about subjects is the subject of how people steal each other's... How people steal other people's power, soul, and energy. It is more common than you can understand, and it goes beyond the realm of the physical dimension with people and extends into the non-physical dimensional with non-physical beings. People on Earth have what is called the soul, or personal power. The soul of a human is something that can be taken or given away or stolen. The act of soul stealing is a common phenomenon among people in relationships where one person is dominating or power taking a person. People also have what is called an energy field or aura. A common problem that most people have is that somewhere in life, they become disconnected to their own personal power or soul because of the way they have become dependent on the energy from other people. The term energy vampire or psychic vampire is often a misunderstood term, but is basically a person who lives and feeds off the life force or energy of other people. The energy vampire person is actually unable to develop their own energy. It's kind of sad. And in turn, they have to look outside themselves to get energy. The main cause of energy stealing or feeding is a lack of connection to one's own personal power or soul. For if you had the connection to yourself on a deeper level, you would have no need to use other people for energy. It is extremely common among humans, although only a few people are actually aware of it. In the terms of having to protect their own energy from being stolen or used by others on a deeper level, in fact, of taking or using someone else's energy is based on having power over another person. And this is a lower level of consciousness that people have chosen to operate under. And you guys know that. Hello, Bob. Hello, Tanya. Hello, the carp. You guys know that here we're all about becoming self-aware, self-empowered, and sharing what we know, and so others can listen and grow. And we're coming into that understanding that we have this unlimited replenishing energy that comes in from source. So, we don't need to have people, but there are still people that will be sucking the energy off of us. So we can feel that. And it's part of the conversation Michele and I were having yesterday, is learning to feel it, addressing it. And this article actually gets into telling you some ways of handling these things on the psychic level, the physical level, and all different levels. So are you guys interested in this? My husband rolled my cigarettes too tight. They will keep going out. Okay, on with the article. Okay, a common belief is that energy vampires are negative people or use negativity to drain you, although that's not true. Some can take your energy just by you speaking to them, listening to them speak, looking at them, being close to them in terms of space, like if you were to stand very close to another person. It reminds me of, when the empathy just cracks open in us and we can feel everybody around us. Something to think about, guys. Not in the article. That was an interjection. Okay. It has nothing to do with being negative. It has to do with a person who is on a lower vibration energetically, and just by dealing with them, your energy is taken. What is even more interesting is most people who take or use other people's energy do not know they do it. This is because most people do not understand how energy works. Therefore, they have no idea they are draining you of your energy. The people who understand how energy works and are also users of other people's energy are what I call professional thieves, meaning they actually purposely choose to use other people for energy. I have a friend at one time in my life who told me she would purposely steal other people's energy and feed off of other people's energetically. That's sad. Okay. I asked her how she did this, and she said with her mind. She said she would pull people to her intentionally with her thoughts, and just by someone paying attention to her, she could take their energy. So when you have that look at me person, or they throw those temper tantrums, they're wanting energy. They're wanting to steal energy, which is our life force, guys. We got to realize that. Okay. And then she says, by paying them attention to me gives energy. Okay, makes a lot of sense, because whatever people focus on, they tend to give their energy to. I found myself always tired and drained around this friend. Yep. Are you guys still with me? Oh, I know I didn't do it. I gotta scroll over. Okay. Yes, okay. Whenever we have a relationship or interaction with another human, the other human we are having the relationship or interaction with will either function on two levels. First level is the giver level. This person who does not have any type of hidden agenda or desire to control or have power over others. This level is how people should function with one another. This level is what is right and respectful with the universe as the way you should, or with the way you are supposed to operate. Baxter, you want me to put you out? I'll put you out. Okay. To operate with the way you're supposed to operate with another human being. With the universe, humans are supposed to be beings who share their energy with each other and not take another's energy and not give back anything in return. It's like that dance we've been talking about for the longest time. It's a beautiful dance of energy that we go back and forth. We'll get into that, Jane. That's part that comes in to the article. I just breezed through it and then decided to print it out because it was in such small print on the computer. So, yeah, it's hot off the press. Okay. The giver is a person who is connected to the light, meaning they recognize their sovereignty, their being, and their abundance, and it's poured into them all the time, constantly replenished. Doesn't mean we don't get drained and feel it when it's being sucked out of it. We were talking about that yesterday. We have to pay attention to that. We cannot we may be able to replenish ourselves, but we still need to figure out what happened, because we need to take action, and that will come in a little bit. Hi, Simba. Hi, Glowing's me. Okay. The giver has an energy field, aura, which develops its own energy and in turn gives that energy to others. Hey, Seeker. Okay. The second level is the user, abuser, and taker level. The user is a human who has chosen to dominate, control, or have power over or manipulate one another as a way to compensate for his or her lack of power, understanding, and soul. the user may be completely unaware of his or her actions and functions on autopilot. Excuse me. Not really knowing who they are and why they operate the way they do. Some users understand more than others and actually purposely steal other people's energy. Or I'm sorry, other people's power, energy, and soul. Let me get a drink. Excuse me. I'll catch up with the chat. You guys talk amongst yourself while I'm reading the article, and then I'll catch up with you guys in the chat after. If you guys have questions or want me to reread an area of it. Okay. The user tends to associate with other users, and givers usually avoid these types of people. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, guys. The user may be in high profile positions, such as teachers, healers, leaders, etc. The user is more common with the race of human than the giver. This is due mostly to unhealthy choices and being spiritually disconnected to the one's own power and soul. The user tends to operate under fear, which is due to his or her own lack of power, understanding, and higher consciousness. The user functions at a level at which non-physical beings of a dark nature function at, which is a level of overpowering one another, dominating one another, or attempting to control one another. Hey, overacting, how are you? Okay. The user has an energy field aura which is reversed, meaning it does not develop its own energy, but instead it gets energy from outside of itself, from other people. As we deal with one another in a social or sexual relationship, we exchange energies completely unseen by the naked eye. When a user operates with another user, there is very little power lost or stolen between the two people, as they are both users and operating on the same level. When a user operates with a giver, daggone it, I tell you, you pack these too tight. Okay. When a user operates with a giver, there is an imbalance of energy exchange. What this means is the user cannot give or exchange energy because of his or her lack of power, while the giver tends to give energy to the other person, which is the user. So the imbalance creates an unhealthy relationship between the two people, and one takes and the other person gives. As that relationship develops, the user can actually steal whole parts of power or soul from that other person who is the giver. These parts of power or soul that are stolen from the giver are usually unknown to them because of their lack of understanding of how the soul functions on an energetic level in regards to soul loss. As parts of personal power are stolen, they create openings or holes in the energetic field. Once a person begins to develop holes in his or her energetic field, they are energetically vulnerable, meaning they have power missing from them, which in turn has caused them to be open energetically to non-physical beings. The attachments of non-physical beings in the person's energy field is what causes a person to develop lower levels of consciousness, energy, and power. Sounds kind of like a virus. The more power a person has stolen from another person, the more power is lost from that person, and the more energetically vulnerable that person becomes. Hey Ted, how are you? Double O. Okay. It is important to understand that we are not living in a world that is made of kind, loving beings. Although you may believe you are. The darker truth of life is that this world we live in is made of mostly of fear-based beings, lower level humans, the dark consciousness. For if we lived in a loving world where no one needed to fight, battle, have power over one another, start wars, or hurt one another, the fact that humans have lived for thousands of years and have created nothing but sickness, pain, and misery with one another is only an example of how humans operate on a deeper level. Now, one thing I want to add here is that what I see as we're transitioning, and we are all going through this transition, purging out of the negativity, and it's being replaced. We are then taking back our sovereignty. We're reconnected, and things are happening on a much broader force towards the light than the dark. At least from the people that I've met here, the people that I've met other places. Now we're a mixed bunch, but as the flower of life is quantumly entangled, you will pick up that light and pop awake. I really do feel that does happen. And when somebody knows and they are sovereign and they are aware, they know that they're unlimited in the, receiving. They're connected. So then there's no holes made or anything like that. And they're able to give. And when they give, it helps other people to come along. So, yeah. That's my interjection. Not in the article. Okay. Hey. Now, I believe there is a time for change. That's good. Okay. We must understand what is wrong in order to fix it. That we must choose to understand who we are and learn to make the choices to not live in fear or give our power to others. Allow fear and lower level energy into our lives. Just don't do it. Until we understand that there is no more need for fear or pain or misery, we will never change. But we are changing. We are. Okay. To make the choice to become spiritually intelligent is to understand who we really are. Who we are is not a living, breathing human being. We are much more than that. We are soul beings trapped in a physical body until we make the choice to leave this world. Graduation ceremony. Okay, so when a person comes to you to steal your power, what are you going to say to them? No, you can't steal my power. Go get your own energy and power and stop using other people for your own personal benefit. When we make the choice to not allow others to use us, we choose to become self-empowered through our own choices and not allow people to make us sick. Now, let's talk about the ways people take your energy and power, as there are many. Is this interesting to you guys? You enjoying it? I know it's a little a darker topic, but it is powerful information that for us to, you know, get to know. Number 1, the eyes of your body position when speaking to somebody. The eyes are an important tool for transferring energy. The eyes have been called the window of the soul for a reason. We can give and take energy through the eyes. If someone needs you to focus on them, you will need to look at them. When people look at something, they are focusing on what they are looking at, giving it energy and attention. Whenever you focus on, you give your energy to it. Okay, that makes sense. Also, the body and the position of it. And the position of the body is very important. Standing directly in front of energy vampires is giving them direct access to you. Access to your heart chakra and the center of your being. In this position of your body, which is not beneficial when speaking to people who absorb other people's energy. So when talking to someone who uses others for their energy, try not to make eye contact with them or face them directly. Okay, number 2, conflict. People who use others for energy will need you to focus on them to feed them. This is how most energy feeding is done. So what they will do is get you to fight with them, argue with them, play their emotional power stealing games. They will feed off your emotional reaction. They will attempt to get you to play their game by reacting. They will feed off the energy fed into the conflict. The easiest, in brackets, and oldest, in bracket, way to steal someone's energy and power is to start an argument or conflict with them and feed off their reaction. So, when someone starts to begin some sort of conflict with you, you need to examine whether it's worth your energy to fight back. Some battles are best dealt with by walking away and saying no. Number 3, name calling, gossip, emotional attacks. People will need to get you to react emotionally and feel hurt to give away your power. People need you to focus your mind on them and what they are manipulating you with. So, what better of a way to call you a name or emotionally attack you in some way? Mostly all power games revolve around making you feel hurt or embarrassed or weak or powerless. So this method involves various acts of demoting your quality of being, testing you in the way that hurts your emotional self. Yeah. Okay. Number 4, people treating you as if you are not worth what? People treating you as if you are of no worth or powerless. Power and power and domination games. I'm sorry, you guys. Another similar tactic to this is attempting to treat you like you are of low worth or somebody who lacks certain skill or quality. The way a boss has the power over his employees to treat them like they are beneath him. and the employees accept his beliefs, they give away a certain amount of power. The way parents have power over their children to keep them held down and limiting beliefs such as you're not good enough or you will never attain that. Limiting beliefs is another way to steal someone's power. Number 5, talking too much, asking redundant or pointless questions. A very simple and common way to use others for energy is to ask them pointless questions. You need to get to someone to give you their energy, so getting them to talk or listen to you talk non-stop is an effective method. A person will come up and ask, "Do you know where the supermarket is?" when the supermarket is right across the street. Or they very well know exactly where it is, or they will talk and talk and talk about everything. It does not have to do with dumping negativity. It can just be listening to them speak on end. And the more you listen, the more energy you give away. The more you get to talk, the more energy you give away. Almost done. Oh my gosh, this is a long article. Number 6, trying to be the center of attention. Doggone it. Burned up my whole cigarette. Yeah, the interrogator. That's right, or seeker. Okay. Center of trying to be the center of attention. Some people, when they walk into the room, talk extremely loud and attempt to make their presence known. This is a subtle energy feeding method which is designed to draw attention to them, thereby focusing on them, which gives them energy. People who constantly need to be paid attention to have severe inner issues of needing love and want the attention from others. This is what little children do when they do not get what they want. They cry and create drama. Don't allow people to come into your life and force you to pay attention to them, as they are not deserving of your attention. Number 7, dumping negative or emotional or heavy crap on you. Yes, I said crap. It says crap in the article. Okay. Related to number 4 is dumping heavy and emotional stuff on you. Negativity is very draining. So a person can sit back and talk about their problems and how it's going wrong and how life is so hard, and and before you know it, you're drained. They walk away feeling uplifted because they just fed off your light by dumping their dark crap on you. Again, having boundaries with people is a lesson. Number 8, emotional or heavy relationships. An emotional or heavy relationship is draining, and some people seek out these types of relationships. Related to number 1, this relationship revolves around drama, pain, heavy emotion, and conflict. Constantly arguing is a surefire way to give away your energy and power. Understand that you could die at any moment, and spending your time upset and bent out of shape because of a woman or man you are in a relationship with is an extremely unhealthy existence. Avoid drama or anything emotionally heavy at all costs. Okay. I'm going to skip number 9. You guys can read that one on your own. Okay, number 10. Because it's about sexual intercourse. It's listed below. Okay. And number 10. invasion of personal space, or being very close to unhealthy people. This is a little more advanced, but some people can feed off you by just standing close to you. Since your energy field aura extends around your body for a distance of 5 feet, give or take, those who are more experienced feeders will simply feed off your energy by standing close to you. You would not believe the amount of people who have tried to stand extremely close to me in order to feed off my aura. It's almost a joke, but this is what some do in order to steal your power and energy. Number 11. At distance feeding, aka courting. Now this is the one I want you guys to really pay attention to. Because this could help out a lot with some of the ascension symptoms and stuff that we're feeling, and give us some relief. Another more advanced method used by those who are highly skilled in this is to focus their feeding from a distance. Yes, some can actually feed off your energy psychically by using their mind and focusing on courting with you. Cords work by very thin thread-like energetic cords, almost like tentacles, being courted to you to feed off of you. Some people can project their cords from a distance to you and suck and steal energy away from you. You usually have to be within eye distance of them, but it can be done on a daily by those who are more skilled by using other energy. Number 12, pay attention to this one too. Psychic cords. Unlike normal energy cords, psychic cords are psychic connections you have with other people. You may constantly have dreams with a particular person, or you may constantly think about another person. You may think about someone and speak to them, and they said they just thought about you. These are psychic connections, and some of them are unhealthy because the people we are connected with psychically are unhealthy. If you are psychically connected to someone who is unhealthy, they can absorb some of your energy and your power through dreams and other methods of psychic interactions. Okay, number 13, violence, fear, anger, and intimidation. Okay, an extreme way of stealing another person's power is to attempt to intimidate them or physically attack them, or for someone, for if someone is coming at you to hurt you, you will have no choice but to fight back and defend yourself. It is defending yourself that will drain you. It is the heavy emotionally crap you will go through while defending yourself that will drain you. It is the fear you feel when someone attempts to threaten you with physical harm that will drain you. Fear and anger are one in the same. So if someone gets you angry and upset at them, that anger will drain you. These are all extremely deceptive and manipulative ways to get some people used to steal your power. So be careful with who attempts to scare or hurt you. Defense is necessary in some instances, but not all. The warrior way is to avoid conflict at all costs, and walking away is sometimes the best defense. Fear no one unless you like being afraid. Fear is extremely disempowering and is the greatest tool of all to steal another person's power and energy. If you could get everyone to fear you, what a great master of disempowerment you would be. But people choose to be afraid and learn. It's a learned response and choose common among people who are not in their own power. People can also project their fears and anger and negative emotions onto you as a sort of psychic attack, and it'll drain you as well. Learn to be in your power and develop emotional control, and you will respond less and less to life with fear. Woo! Wow. All right, guys. I know that was a long article, but my eyes are bugging out from reading. But there was so much information packed in there, and love conquers everything. So if we're pushing out the fear, we're pulling in the love, no one will steal your crown. If somebody is instilling doubt in you, picking at you, being hypercritical of you, just like a duck, let it roll off. Don't even listen to it. Don't pay it any attention. Don't give it any energy. Don't give it another thought. I know it hurts. I mean, we're all coming out of an age where we had the boot on our neck into this age of knowing who and what we are, and how beautifully and wonderfully each and every one of us are. I mean, we're just divine. We're limitless. We can reconnect ourselves. Go into your prayer closet. Meditate. Whatever, yoga. Whatever it is that you do where you can center yourself and reconnect to that abundant source of energy that will flow into you continuously. Push out any fear. Get to know who and what you are. And then we have nothing to worry about. Do you guys have any questions on that article? Or any questions about, like stealing our crowns and things like that? Was that informative? I don't go with the dark stuff. She'll be live in 7 minutes. I'll be off at 12:12. Yeah, 12:12. So we got about 15 minutes maybe. Give or take. So, she was just live here yesterday. I like Michele Wolf so much. She's just a breath of fresh air. Transmissions forever. Fear takes and heart space gives. Yes. Fear equals death. Love equals heart space. It is better to give to people than for them to take. The glass is half full or half empty. It's always half full or running over. Actually, it more times than not, the cup runneth over. That's, when I had that love embrace and all these amazing things start stirring up within me, I had to get to know myself, and I stopped looking at the outside world for the answers and began looking inward. We get our house in order, and then all else follows. I mean, it's a beautiful understanding. I don't want to be vampiric on anybody, but I can tell you guys, when you get your house in order, or semi in order, wherever I'm at in this transition, I can feel it. I can tangibly feel that energy coming at me. Now, I can refill, but if I do not figure out why, what the reason is, what's causing it, it's going to come back. So I have to figure out where it's coming from, sever that cord, walk away. Now, there's no reason to attack or do anything malice to anybody. Don't stoop to that level. But just stay with people that are going to be givers, not takers, where you're a giver, not a taker, and learn to receive and give on a mutual scale, as you know that they are abundant, you are abundant, and it's a beautiful thing, and it's unconditional love. Yeah, Seeker, I referred somebody to Unbiased on the Fence video that he just did about that, and I'm interested in that. Is that a book that he was describing? So she says that the Celestine, I think I'm saying that right, describes how we change ourselves by appreciating beauty. If we try to see the highest beauty in the other, they receive the energy they need without having to fight for it. That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Oh, it's a series of books. Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. I'm going to have to check that out. Basically, the people that I'm kind of addressing in this is some of us will feel extra drained, or some of us will feel, will feel it. And, you have to find out where the source is. We have those abilities, and we have to make decisions. May break your heart a little bit when you find out where it's coming from. You still have to make the decision on what is in the best interest. You still unconditionally love that person, but at the same time, they need to learn to reconnect themselves. And if you could just back off and leave them alone for a while and just kind of break that connection where you're no longer getting the illness feelings, the body aches, the lethargic, all of the stuff. There's a lot that comes along, the headaches, then they will learn to reconnect. And that's what the hope is for everybody to learn to reconnect themselves, realize how precious and divine each and every one of us are, that we don't need to, start fights with one another or pick apart others or gossip about each other in order to get the energy that we need in order to survive. Hey, San Jill. Ah, yes, that's the one I'm interested in. Okay? Is that the book's name? Yeah, of course. The books usually are. Really? Can you toss me the link, Seeker, to both? I would greatly appreciate it. So did you guys learn anything about, some of these symptoms that you may be feeling and why? That's really, thank you, Seeker. You can put it in my Discord inbox, please. Or you can email it to me in the email in the show more notes. Yeah. Yeah, she probably had, they normally try to connect about 15 minutes before showtime, and so they can chat it up. And we try not to overlap each other. And I could have swore he said he was going to try to start at 2:22, which would be 12:22 for me, so we're all going after those synchronicity numbers. Whoop, whoop. You often receive energy when I'm sky watching. Always feels better. Well, Dead GBK, that means you're connected and you're receiving from source. It's a beautiful, amazing feeling. And then you get so used to feeling that way. Like the old way, before what I call Holy Spirit baptism. This all started in 2001, and then I procrastinated it, and then I got bonked over the head in 2012. And that feeling, that reconnection, it was like walking on cloud 9, and then it's about learning. It was all about learning what all these abilities are that we have within us. What the heck is going on? Am I going nuts? I mean, I got hit, like, bonked up side the head. Oh, thank you, Seeker. So, when you're reconnected, you have that abundant source. But then we can still discern if we're being psychically attacked or something is going on. And we still need to address those. Send them unconditional love, but we got to know, where to stay and where to go. And a lot of people think that the Holy Spirit baptism or the spiritual or the Kundalini is the end of the journey. Well, no, it's the beginning. And then you go through the refinement period. And, maybe that is part of what constitutes that depression. Because we all seem to have a few things in common. That we go into isolation. And when we go into isolation, we're no longer energetically feeding off of other people, right? So we're getting back connected with Source, with the divine, with the divineness that we are. And then we pop out with joy, bliss, see the beauty in everything. I mean, it's just wonderful. Wow, Jane. Ooh. That gives me the chills. Yes, it's good energy in the sky. Yes. In the firmament. It's to form the geometrical connection to the universal space beyond. Yep. Yep. That's why it feels like the energy comes in through the crown and just flows through your body. It's beautiful. Or, it's the heart. Like that picture on my YouTube. That's an actual photo. That something was going on with my eyes. Even though my eyes were just fine, my son saw it. And then there was a break and something was going on with my heart. And that may have been energy, the source flowing in. And, he actually saw it and took a picture. It was more visible in the photo than what he saw with his naked eye, but it's absolutely amazing. I really don't compare them. I think that it's two words for the same thing. It's just different labels for a same type of an awakening is an awakening. So, the Kundalini, from the people that call it the Kundalini, when they talk about what happens with them, sounds pretty similar to a Holy Spirit baptism. Just having somebody walking that you can't see barefoot in your backyard. I don't know, I like that. I'd be like, show yourself. Let me see you. What kind of a feeling do you get? Do you feel like it's one of your guardian angels letting you know that they're there? Right. Listen, yes. Yes. Well, I don't know if it's bad or good. It was just the way you said it, I hear somebody walking barefoot, but I can't see anybody, and I have a small backyard. Ask it to show itself. Talk to it. Find out what its purpose is. I've noticed I had a being come close to me, and when the being came close to me, all I felt was like it was I felt like I was in thick honey. And it was like golden thick honey of all unconditional love. It was a love that I had never felt here before. It's undescribable. And then as the being went, stepped away, I was like, no, come back. I could stand next to me all the time. Little did I know that that's us. That's what we're becoming. It's beautiful. It's absolutely wonderful. No, he didn't mean it like dividing. It's like an Eastern term versus a Western term. But they mean the same thing. But I get what you're saying, overacting. Oh! Okay, never mind. I'm probably blushing. I better go see my eye doctor soon. I need better glasses. I do too. I enjoy swimming. Swimming is my favorite. But yesterday I did go and walk on the ground and ground myself out because I was up way too late and I was a little sleep deprived. Today I don't have an excuse. I'm just dingy. And normally I would not read that long of an article. I would not do that to you guys. But it was interesting, and I think there was a lot of good information in there. And a part of this process is we need to get to know ourselves, and we need to get to know what's going on with us. And it's a process, to get to know the authentic you, not the straw man you that you thought you were. The authentic, beautiful, divine, unconditional love, connected individual. We're all just a different expression of the one. Some people just, as a man thinketh, so shall he be. They think they're disconnected, so they are disconnected. Transmissions forever. As we get closer to knowing energies, we see the codes behind it and know the sequence, as it is common, the set to determine origin, geometric symbols and sigils. Yes. Good, I'm glad you liked it, Jean. Yes, the whole you. That's what it's about. And this channel is about, sharing what you know so others can listen and grow, including myself. And it's to make leaders, not followers. Of course, I love subscribers. It just, helps me press forward and keep on overcoming with public speaking and moving forward with what I've been going through for the past 17 years, to vocalize it and let other people know you're not going crazy. This is a normal process. Well, it's normal for some of us. Other people, it's a choice. We all make the choice. You are seeking the truth that no matter what the cost, you're going to find it. And there's some similar stages we go through, but not in the same order. And there's similar gifts that we all have, but again, some of us have certain gifts stronger than the others. It's by our passion of our heart. Doesn't mean you're limited to just that gift. You got all of them there. Every single thing is there. But we're not meant to be automatons, That's why we all look different. We dress different. We're all different expressions of the one. And once we come to this understanding and reconnect instead of trying to harvest energy from others, we can change this place overnight, guys. I already see that. I can see that because I've seen changes go on, you know, with my skies, with my surroundings, with the colors are more vivid and vibrant now. It's beautiful. And, you know, we talked about it yesterday, you know, the 3D Earth versus the 5D Earth. Well, we're walking into that 5D Earth. It's just absolutely amazing. I got 1 minute. 1 minute, guys. If you guys like what's going on here, like, share, subscribe. Share it wherever, whatever platform you're in. Invite people that you think would resonate. The more, the merrier. The right people will click. And I've got so many of you guys willing to come up and talk and give your testimony. Oh my gosh, you guys, we're in for some amazing things. Don't forget, Transmissions Forever is coming on tomorrow, 11/11 Power Hour. Peace. Love you. See you tomorrow.